Anybody on the left side of the political spectrum, every liberal and Democrat, socialist and fascist and communist, is a racist in my eyes. Once again, the silent part out loud. You would think that liberals would sort of shut their goddamn mouths when it comes to things like this. Now, I met Senator Tim Scott in the airport in Columbia, South Carolina, a few years ago. It was a brief encounter, like probably about a minute. Talked to him a little bit. He seemed like a decent guy, and even from the stuff I've read about him, yes, he is a decent man. I don't think he's married. He was a businessman in South Carolina, and he rose up and then became senator. I think if he was, if there was a chance to vote for him for president, I would probably do it. If it was between him and like a potato, yeah, I would obviously vote for Tim Scott. No doubt about it. If he was senator in this state that I'm in, I would obviously vote for him. Why? Because not only is he a Republican, he just seems like a decent guy. You'd have to look hard and far and very long to find anything remotely negative about this guy. You may not agree with him, his politics and some of the things he said, as far as in the realm of politics, but the he's not a bad guy. One of the most least important and interesting facts about him is that he's a black guy. Simple as that. More importantly is what he says and what he represents to the people of South Carolina. So, of course, when he responded or rebutted the Potatoes' speech last night, of course, white Twitter, leftist Twitter, of course, they came out and called him Uncle Tim, referring to Uncle Tom, because he dare moves off the ideological plantation that he's supposed to be on, and how dare him speak up for himself. Yeah, you see, that's what happens when you're a liberal, when you break ranks, or where you don't support them even though you're a certain skin color. There's a certain religion out there that if you break away from and join another religion, say you went from religion A, didn't like it anymore, to religion B, in some countries that's grounds for death, grounds for ostracization. Kind of funny how that liberals sort of act like a Shiite. I basically been calling liberals now Shiite liberals. They're fascist. They're terrible goddamn people, and this just goes to prove it. Now, not all liberals are that way. I get it, but do you see anybody in the media calling this out? Perhaps they have. I haven't seen it. So, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott delivered the Republican response to President Potatoes' first joint address to Congress. And joint address is very loosely stated. Offering a firm rebuke to the left's vilification of the United States as an irredeemably racist empire built for the purpose to oppress. Right. Imagine that. You want to become president of a country that's oppressive. And he goes on, just before COVID, we had the most inclusive economy in my lifetime. And it was, Scott said, touting record progress for minorities in a nation millions continue to seek refuge from around the globe. And again, I like how the news media and the goddamn potato will say, this country sucks. Then why are people dying to get in here? Ah, yes. The narrative. Can't forget the narrative. Leftist online keyboard warriors, however, were less than enthusiastic that a black senator dissented from their claim that all black people and minorities are oppressed by a Republican Party supposedly infected with white supremacy. Matter of fact, if you look back in history, there was 5 congressmen right after the Civil War that were black, okay, who were voted in, and they were black. They're all Republican. Not a Democrat in one of them. Keep that in mind. The words Uncle Tim began trending on Twitter, tying Scott to a pre-Civil War slave character, Uncle Tom, in Harriet Beecher Stowe's 1850s abolition book, Uncle Tom's Cabin. Uncle Tom was used as a slur against black people, yet racially offensive trend was amplified by Twitter in its trending topics for hours following the speech. So, Scott Nevins, Senator at Tim Scott, South Carolina, Uncle Tommying it for his life. So sad. South Carolina should be so ashamed. A white guy calling another black guy Uncle Tom is in fact racist as fuck. Stephen L. Miller. You might want to take a pause and see who is calling him that. Even for you, this is an incredible self-own. Young Daddy. Verified Twitterati. Tim Scott complained about being called an Uncle Tom and then 60 seconds later said America is not a racist country. It's not. But there are some racist people in there on the left side of the political spectrum that are calling a black senator from South Carolina, you guessed it, Uncle Tom. Or in this case, Uncle Tim. Brooklyn Dad Defiant, another blue checkie. I'd totally be unsurprised to learn that Stephen Miller wrote that BS speech for Uncle Tim. That would make more sense. Again, another white piece of human shit. Now there's a black guy, Ricky Davia. I just turned off the Tim Scott Uncle Tom GQP rebuttal. I don't need their token sharing their propaganda in my home after an exceptional... Oh my God. Oh my God. What a piece of shit. Mr. Vegas, while saying this, Uncle Tim Scott said America is not a racist society. It's not, but you are, Mr. Vegas, you piece of human shit. Charmaine, Tim Scott does not represent black people. Oh, so if we're going to take what the critical race theorists state, that a white person can't tell what a black person thinks unless they're a liberal or leftist douchebag a-hole cocksucker. He knows he is not liked. No, I do like Tim Scott, and I actually admire him, and I respect him. But in the greater black community, yeah, he's respected. But you're a complete fucking trash bag. Fuck you. Oh my God. Michael Herrick, another black guy. In my defense, I actually said Uncle Tim, and he was talking about his nephews. Okay. Luke Campbell, Uncle Tim. My Captain America is black. Twitter got me rolling with these Uncle Tim tweets. I hope you all roast Tim Scott's A all week. The left needs no more introduction than they're racist as fuck. Every leftist is racist until I get to know them. That's just what I'm going to say now. Anybody on the left side of the political spectrum, every liberal and Democrat, socialist and fascist and communist is a racist in my eyes. That's it. That's it. Done. Andrew Mungai. Uncle Tom, sorry, Uncle Tim is very confused black man. America's not a racist society. It's not. I've experienced the pain of discrimination. That's not racism, dickhead. Worse, he's from South Carolina, yet to release Andrew Brown's execution on tapes. In his speech, Scott addressed racist smears he dealt with in his youth, sharing again the story of his father's rise from cotton to Congress in one lifetime, a history fact-checked by Washington Post, everyone's lovable douchebag, Glenn Kessler, who will never fact-check Joe Biden again, who combed through Scott's bloodline and called out the senator to check his poor family's earning privilege. He goes, I've experienced the pain of discrimination. I know what it feels like to be pulled over for no reason, to be followed around the store while I'm shopping. And then Nicholas Fondocaro. In response to President Biden's address to Congress, Senator Tim Scott calls out progressives who call him Uncle Tom and N-word. He also called out the Washington Post fact-checker Glenn Kessler, who targeted his family's history. And they did, in fact, call out his family's history. So that just goes to show you that, I know what you're going to say. I'm not a left racist. How dare you call me that? You don't know me. No, I don't know you. But why don't you call out these cocksuckers out here calling Senator Tim Scott, an African American, a very well-respected African American in South Carolina. You're calling him Uncle Tim. Why don't you call that out? Oh, that's right. You won't call that out because you're a racist piece of shit. This goes to show you that if you don't believe liberals are racist, this is all you need to know. Who's calling him Uncle Tim? It's not Republicans. It's not conservatives. It's not centrists. It's not middle of the road type of people. It's not anarcho-capitalists. It's not libertarians. It's people on the left. People on the left are racist. Especially if you're a black man who's a senator of South Carolina who is not a liberal leftist douchebag. Imagine that. you're going out of your way to call a black American, you may even say he's a patriot, an Uncle Tim, because you don't like his politics. Well, I get it. I don't like your politics, leftists. You're a bunch of pieces of human shit. You're a goddamn disgrace. All of you people that called him Uncle Tim, that's a racist fucking comment. And I'm not surprised that Jack Dorsey and the Twitterati allow this bullshit to continue on their platform that shies away from racist comments. Well, there you go. There's racist comments right there, and yet they're still there. And yet, what does Jack Dorsey say? Well, he's unavailable for comment because he's in the fucking desert, setting up his goddamn caliphate. That fucking piece of shit. That motherfucker looks like he fell on a goddamn fucking face first into a tackle box. Fuck Jack Dorsey. Fuck you on the left. Tim Scott, you may not agree with his politics 100%, but he's no Uncle Tim. Matter of fact, he thinks for himself. I met the man myself. Maybe albeit briefly. He's a decent man. I have no problem with him. And calling him Uncle Tim is just fucking flat out racist. You leftists out there, you did this. You brought this on yourself. All of you leftists, I'm saying this right now, anybody on the left side of the political spectrum, unless I know them personally, are racist fucks. Fuck you, Democrats. Fuck you, liberals. Fuck you, socialists. Fuck you, fascists. And fuck you, communists. This is you. You are racist pieces of shit. Go to hell.